Well, the Fort Massac Encampment is celebrating 50 years as a chance to really step back into time and see what life was like in the 1700s. I just love this event. It's a great time, and this year's event promises to be bigger and better than ever. I'm joined with Trish, second rider with the Greater Metropolis Convention and Visitors Bureau. Trish, thanks so much for seeing me again,
Well,
being
thank
here.
you for having me here.
We definitely appreciate it. And this is really a unique event. I've never seen anything else like this. So go ahead and tell viewers what it's all about.
Well, we like to say that history comes to life in the park, and this weekend is truly what happens. We will welcome 300 to 400 reenactors to Fort Massac State Park. Over 25 to 30 food vendors, over 100 marketplace vendors, all period authentic food, all period authentic items for sale. So they will get to experience history truly coming to life in the park at Fort Massac State Park during the encampment.
And this is the 50th year for this event. I mean, really, it's become kind of a tradition to the community. So how are you guys celebrating this 50 years?
Yes, this is definitely a traditional event. We've seen generation after generation start coming back for this event over the last 50 years, of course. So there are some things that stay the same because they like the tradition of it, and some things just don't change. The battle is still at 3 o'clock. So that's always the number one question is, what time is the battle going to be? It will be at 3 o'clock Saturday and Sunday. But for the 50th anniversary, we are doing something a little different. It may not be completely period authentic, but we are having a drone show on Saturday night at 7 p.m. in the Old Fort area, so right along the riverfront. And I've had the opportunity to see a sneak peek of this drone show, and it is absolutely amazing because it does actually fit into the encampment because it's fully customized just for us, and it tells the entire story of Fort Massac, and it takes us all the way up to the 50th anniversary where we will celebrate that event through music, through narration, and through the drones in the sky.
And speaking of amazing, to me it's amazing to see, all the reenactors come to one area. Are these reenactors from our region? Do they come from across the country?
They come from everywhere. Like I said, we have 300 to 400 reenactors that will be a part of this year's event. It's funny because I was reading back over some of the history of the Fort Massac encampment, and the very first encampment had one military garrison that came in. So maybe 10 to 20 reenactors were there for the very first one in 1974. And now we have 300 to 400 reenactors that come in, and they live it and breathe it. So all the way down to the buttons on their clothes and their uniforms are period authentic. So yes, they come from all over the country. The vendors come from all over the country. So, and then of course we will welcome about 150 to 180,000 people to Fort Massac State Park, and they too come from all over the country.
And speaking of the vendors, some of them are, local organizations who use this as a fundraiser to give back to the community. Can you touch on that?
Yes, absolutely. So I say the event within the event is the food. Our food is very unique at the encampment because you won't find event food per se. It won't be like a corn dog on a stick or something like that. What you do find is truly homemade food because we do have vendors that 80% of them are nonprofit organizations. So we have churches, we have Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, we have schools, we have different organizations that are using this event to be their main fundraiser for the entire year. Then that money is able to go back and be reinvested in the Massac County community. And it's not like you're just buying, just your normal run-of-the-mill food. There are some very unique items, burgoo stew, elk chili, just lemonade, homemade lemonade that everybody's gonna love, especially with the great weather that we're gonna have this weekend. It's definitely gonna go flying off the shelves, I'm quite sure. But yes, the food is the event within the event for sure because it's all homemade by the organizations there within the community.
Well, now you're just making me hungry at this point.
Me too.
Thank you so much for stopping in and talking about this year's event. We definitely appreciate your time. And for anybody wanting to learn more about this event, I do have this story up on our website right now. That is WSILTV.com. But for now, I do want to toss it over to our JC Brienne. And JC, it looks like it'll be some great weather for this event this weekend.
It is going to be fantastic.